Our first formula for the gas laws unit is Boyle's law. And Boyle's law is looking at the relationship between pressure and volume. So Boyle's law is right here on your formula sheet. You're going to have possibly two different pressures and two different volumes. Notice that you have it labeled as P1V1 equals P2V2. P1 means the initial pressure, and V1 means initial volume. P2 is the final pressure, and V2 is the final volume. So you're looking at the relationship between pressure and volume. What's going to happen is you will be given two pressures and one volume and asked to find the other volume. Or you could be given two volumes and one pressure and asked to find the other pressure. So you're really focused here on isolating variables. So let me give you an example of that. Let's say that you were told the initial pressure and the initial volume, and you were asked then to calculate the final volume. So you're then asked to identify what is V2. So now what would happen is you would have to isolate for V2, which means that you're going to say P1 over V1 divided by P2 is going to give you your final volume. You're really just doing a lot of pre-algebra here and just isolating variables. And remember, if I decided to write out my V2 on this side of my formula, it doesn't make a difference. It still means the same thing. So let me do another example of how you're going to be isolating variables. Let's say this time around, you were asked to identify the initial pressure. You were told the final pressure and the final volume and the initial volume, and you had to figure out what was the initial pressure of the gas. So this time around, you're solving for P1, which means that you're going to say P2 over V2 divided by V1. All you're going to be given for any quiz and test is this formula sheet. If you already know that isolating variables, doing the pre-algebra, doing the algebra is the struggle, then what I would recommend for you is to make sure that you're taking time to practice that part out and not just depending on me showing you how to do this in the videos.